Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have friends and family at home that are fight fans, let them know that we are broadcasting worldwide right now at CageZilla.com, and we are ready for our next fight. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Ricky Lopez.
Hello, friends, and welcome back as we move into fight number 4 on the night. This is Ricky Lopez making his way to the ring, looking to try to follow up on Brunson MMA and Fitness's undefeated record from earlier with the showing of Shea Kaminsky. This fighter is 5'7", 125 pounds, and fights in the flyweight division.
Yeah, curious to see Ricky Lopez and his strategy. He's coming from Brunson's MMA, a great gym, and a wrestling-based gym, coming with his coach, Derek Brunson. And, you know, his teammate, Shea Kaminsky, really utilized her wrestling awesome in her bout, on bout number 2 here tonight. And I'm curious to see if Ricky Lopez is going to try to use the same strategy. He's coming into this fight with a Boonchu record, actually, of 1-0. So he's got some striking entering this fight. And so we'll see. With the striking mixed together with his wall work, his wrestling, I'm curious to see what strategy he's going to try to implement against the Jaguar.
And so this should be a very interesting one in general. I really do think that as it currently stands, Ricky Lopez is one of those shining stars right here in this developing flyweight division. Cannot wait to see how he shows up against another representative of Tyson.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Rene Marroquin.
And of course, that is that representative I'm talking about. Rene Jaguar Marroquin comes in at 29 years old and is actually, for the first time, representing Kaizen MMA as he recently transitioned gyms. But already, according to Liam Pinero, who we're going to be seeing in our main event tonight, this is someone who has adapted quickly to the system and already knows about the give and take that defines a lot of the gyms here. You put in your all, you get their all back. And so far, Marroquin is apparently one of the top competitors coming out of Kaizen, ready to make his record more than a 50-50 of 1-1. He's a 5'6" and weighs in at 125 pounds.
Yeah, Rene the Jaguar coming into some reggaeton. Hopefully we see some nice footwork, some nice rhythm from him. He's 1-1 in Boonchu. He was training at American Top Team Ashburn and has transferred to Kaizen. Both good gyms, and I'm curious to see what kind of strategy he's going to implement. He looks very fit, very in shape for 125 pounds. I mean, this guy looks like he does a lot of push-ups and sit-ups. And, man, really excited to see this guy in the cage, the Jaguar.
Absolutely. One of the most cut individuals in this weight class. And so we're seeing a very different texture than what we saw in our first flyweight bout of the night there. 125 pounds where it was kind of lanky guy versus lanky guy. Now we got someone who clearly is built and made for this weight class. A very classic physique coming in with a very classic gym already well known within CageZilla circles. Kaizen MMA are looking to go 3-0 on the night.
Yeah, he came out with the war hat on from Marvin Hagler. You know he's going to be bringing the war. Dustin Poirier wears that hat also, and anybody that wears that hat, coming for war, baby, and I'm expecting to see nothing less. Jeez, he looks big for this weight class.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla flyweight division. It is brought to you by our friends at ABC Supply, America's largest wholesale distributor of roofing, siding, windows, gutters, and more, and Titan Mechanical and Plumbing, leaders in mechanical services. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'7" and weighing in at 125 pounds, fighting out of Brunson's MMA and Fitness with a record of 1 win and no defeats, it's Ricky Lopez. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'6" and weighing in at 125 pounds, fighting out of Kaizen MMA with a record of 1 win and 1 defeat, it's Rene Jaguar Marroquin. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. It is brought to you by ABC Supply and Titan Mechanical and Plumbing. And your referee is Gabe Balajit.
And we're right back into it. Very excited to see these two face off. You know, we're talking a lot about the pedigree of these teams already making a mark here at this landmark, CageZilla 82. And now, with two of the best representatives, I'm so excited to see what they bring. I believe that a glove touch was in order to start us off here. And already, look at how low the stance is for Marroquin, really showing this kind of striking prowess, trying to blade himself to the side and find good leverage with these big shots from those meaty arms.
Yeah, I'd like to know what he walks around at. Jeez, I mean, this guy looks really big for 125 pounds. Looks almost like a different weight class than Ricky Lopez, but hey, he made 125 pounds, so both of these guys came in on the mark here for bout number 4 on the night. Oh, wow, Ricky Lopez swinging with a big overhand right. Rene really testing out that jab and seeing how that jab works for him. They say jab is the best punch in boxing, and it sets up different things, so I'm hoping he keeps using it, but he's got to follow it with some other things.
I do like the velocity, the audible thud that he got off that roundhouse kick. Not actually going to land on a damaging area, but Ricky Lopez does have to check that. So far, it feels like he's been very much trying to focus up ahead, looking to make sure that he dodges shots and trades some back of his own, but the red corner's got to watch for all these two. But with a big hook, he will be able to stagger Marroquin for the time being, but it looks like the representative Kaizen is right back up, ready to go.
Yeah, Ricky Lopez really put a hurting on Rene with that right hand. I don't know if you guys can notice that here watching, but Rene was really kind of gathering himself after that big right hand. If I was Ricky Lopez, I would try to follow that up and really try to put my hands on him.
And I also think that Marroquin should be looking a little bit more towards trying to fire off some kicks. Notably, Ricky has that almost Muay Thai-ish high guard that right now is mostly protecting his head, protecting that jaw, but notably, he was open to those kicks. Now, it looks like the red corner is going to try to answer with some of his own here. Brunson's MMA and fitness, of course, already coming out on top of the ground and pound game, but now it looks like they're actually excelling at striking, too. Yeah,
I mean, you know, see, it looks like Ricky Lopez has competed in Boonshu before. He doesn't mind striking with the big gloves. And, man, he's putting the hurting on Rene when he connects. So Rene better get that mouthpiece back in his mouth, bite down on it, and start connecting some shots of his own.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that Gabe Balajit hasn't called it out. There we see the point, trying to put this back in his mouth, but this is a dangerous situation. One shot goes awry, and all of a sudden, it's coming out, and you have to get to a stoppage, which could be really painful one side or the other, depending on who actually finds the opening first. And right now, I will say, it does seem like it's Ricky Lopez who's finding more openings than his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like maybe Rene's got to switch his strategy up, move in for a takedown, get him against the cage, and somewhere where he can utilize some of that strength to get him to the ground and lay on top of him and dominate him there, because it looks like Ricky's really taking advantage of. There he goes, trying to grab him.
First clinch, but really high on the guard there, so really unable to get any kind of leverage for a takedown, so we are just going to reset back to neutral here. Notably, this is pretty stance agnostic, but finally, there's an opening. Marroquin going to try to take his opponent down. Notably, a guillotine was almost locked in there by Ricky Lopez, but now here comes the renavigation up on guard. The bell will ring before any more damage can be done, but that was a great turn right there at the end from the Jaguar.
Yeah, mistake from Ricky Lopez there, jumping to guillotine, because you know, he was right there at the end of the round. He should have just sprawled. He was already starting his sprawl. He sprawled nicely, and then once he jumped to that neck, the Jaguar was able to pop his head out quickly and get some ground and pound in. I'm not sure if it's enough to really win him the round, the Jaguar, because I thought Ricky ultimately scored a lot more of the big, powerful, significant strikes. But we'll see how the judges score that first round. That was a tough one.
Yeah, right there at the end, whenever you have that statement maker, that reflects quite well, but it also is something that for you to dwell upon and maybe an indicator of things in the future. I don't think that we're going to be seeing Rene go for as many shots up top as much as he will now be looking for a takedown, because that was the one thing he was benefiting from in round number 1. Now he wants a little bit more time in which to actually bring that to bear upon Ricky Lopez. And notably, you said right there was that misstep strategically once the takedown occurred, where Lopez just didn't answer the guillotine properly. Now, if you could do that earlier on and make that a real pressure point, we could see the blue corner make a big comeback.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's either going for takedowns or, maybe Coach Gustavo. I know Coach Gustavo's an excellent boxing coach, and maybe give him some good tidbits on how to switch up his game plan a little bit and start scoring some of those big punches. There he goes.
Yeah, I like this, and now it's actually going to be Ricky Lopez feeling the pressure. Shots upon the ribs. Actually was looking for a little bit of a clinch there. Will break it back up. Right now, though, he is going to wither under those kicks, and Marroquin muscled up top, muscled down below. I'm loving just how fast and snappily he's firing off even into round number 2.
Yeah, Ricky really betting on that big overhand right. He scored it big in the first round, and he's touching him with it here in the second round, so we'll see.
Another takedown started off by Marroquin, and this one will actually get Lopez to the ground, and quickly the fighter in the black shorts is trying to just repel and prevent a full mount, doing a good job of keeping that guard up, and notably Marroquin is actually seeming to struggle to navigate further up the torso of his opponent. Lopez could have an opportunity here if he prevents this lift.
If you remember, this is what I said in the first round. I said when Rene was getting touched up on his feet in the first round, I said he needs to take him down. He needs to use some of that strength and lay on top of him. That's exactly what he's doing here in the second round.
Yeah, doing a good job, though, navigating out with the elbows. Lopez trying to just attack that right arm of Marroquin for the time being. He's not finding a whole lot of value out of it. In fact, is risking the guard. We saw right there a quick break. Will be able to relink his feet, though, across the back of Marroquin. And right now, things look to be at a bit of a standstill.
Yeah, Rene, he's kind of content there laying in his guard. He's got to posture up. He got to score some damage. Maybe he's getting his wits about him again, but, ultimately, I think he's got to start scoring here. And you can see the frustration in Derek Brunson's face when he's got his student Ricky there just laying on the bottom, and he probably wants him to just get up and so he can get back to doing what was working for him, which was using his hands on his feet.
Hey, Brunsons are intimately aware of what Marroquin could do from this situation because this is where we were seeing their representative earlier in the night, Shea Kaminsky, for a long time. And you know what? That led to a TKO at the end of this. This isn't just going to be a slowed down fight. Now back up to the feet. Ricky Lopez wants to try to answer back, and the only way he knows through this striking to get some damage in.
Beautiful transition from Ricky coming up, fighting off, getting that single leg, and then eventually getting right back to the feet. So, yeah, great get up from Ricky. But again, Rene was not scoring big when he had his opportunity to score from the feet or from the top guard. So, not sure. I feel like he should have scored some points there from top.
I would agree with that. We are going to see what's going to happen, though, as we whittle down here in round number 2. I want to see some damage one way or the other,
takedown.
But a great leg pin
Nice.
will transition into a big takedown. And I think that, honestly, this half guard is actually more favorable for Marroquin than what we saw earlier. If he could get another statement maker here right as the clappers sound, this could put away 2 rounds in his favor.
Yeah, depending on how the first round, like we were saying, depending on how the first round is scored, it could be 1-1, it could be 2-0. Either way, I think Ricky's got to come out here and win this last round.
Absolutely the case. I really do think that the Jaguar showed his fangs there in round number 2 and put away all doubts. Still got speculation on the first side, but what I am worried about is that as this fight progresses, Ricky is in more and more tiring positions, and frankly, it feels like Rene, as you said, got his wits back about him, and maybe that was why we saw a pretty slow tempo off that first takedown. Regardless, though, if it gets you around and it keeps you at a higher level of energy than what we're seeing out of Ricky Lopez, well, Kaizen could be going 3-0.
Right, yeah. And speaking directly about this fight, I thought Rene came out and really showed a different temperament there in that second round. Like, hey, I'm not going to be sitting around waiting to get hit with that big overhand right. I'm going to come after this guy, and I'm going to come after him not only with my hands but with my takedowns, and it paid off for him. I thought he dominated that second round.
All right, well, back to their feet. Both of these fighters ready to go. One last glove touch to start us off here. Been loving the action tonight so far, and make sure that if you guys are also enjoying what you're seeing here at CageZilla, that you drop a follow on all of their socials. And as we dive into this third round, we're going to see which of these two fighters will score another victory for their side.
Yeah, I think whoever wins this round wins the fight. That's my opinion, especially if Ricky comes out and wins it dominating fashion. I think Rene, as long as he edges this round out even one little bit, he's got the fight in the bag as well.
All right, well, we got neutral corner here.
Is that a groin kick?
I don't know if it's a groin kick. I think with the motions, it definitely is here. One thing to note is I really like the fact that even though it's not something necessarily related to combat itself, Marroquin, has been keeping the mouth guard in his mouth a lot more, and I think that reflects upon the fact that he's thinking about what he's doing during the fight, and he's also listening to his corner, listening to the referee, being very responsive throughout the course of this one, and that is also cascading into evolution that we're seeing in front of us. A lot more takedowns came through in that second round. Another question is, will he go for that again, or does he see that Lopez is starting to lag up top, and maybe he'll be able to find something on his feet?
Yeah, Lopez is he's about an inch away from all of his strikes. He's got to really step in. I think he's tasted a little bit of the Jaguars' power, so he's a little hesitant to really get in that pocket and score. But I think he can do that, but he's got to commit to it.
One big thing to note here is that for as much as we've been talking about the build of Marroquin, I don't think that muscle is hurting him. Sometimes you see these guys kind of gas out a little bit if they're kind of tipping the scales for the field. But no, it feels like if anything, he's now the one controlling the pace of this final round.
Yeah, like you say, a lot of times guys with the big muscles, once they get to the third round, they don't have any juice left.
Well, there's a takedown initiated once again by the blue corner.
Yes.
That being said, Ricky is in a position where he has quite a bit of leverage, not going to go for a guillotine. Instead, just trying to slowly navigate and push down on that left thigh of Marroquin to get a guard going.
Yeah, no, Ricky can't lay here and try to win this fight. I think Rene can. Rene can lay here. Rene can lay here and win this fight, but Ricky cannot, and he's got to make a move down here from the bottom.
Yeah, right now we are seeing good defense, but the problem is that is not exactly translating into offense. It's not a two-way street where the best offense is a good defense. No, right here, right now, he needs to make a move, but is getting bogarted on all fronts from doing so.
Yeah, he's trying to get the feet in the hips, trying to push off, but like I said in the first round, I think if Rene gets on top of him and imposes his will, imposes his muscle, imposes his strength on top of him, it's going to be a little too much.
And it could just be a matter of a power difference, right? We were talking about musculature, and look at how that translates, right? You got a big muscular blanket right on top of you.
Yeah.
What exactly do you do to try to navigate out of the situation? Ricky has been shown to move fast and be able to get out of sticky situations before, but almost all of those times that we saw him do so, it was when he was on his feet and striking. Right here, right now, it just feels as if there is no way past what the Jaguar is bringing.
Yeah, he cannot sit here and close guard with 20 seconds left. He's got to do something. He tried to sit up and work for a Kimura. Rene locked his hands, and with those muscular arms, man, you're not going to jerk that up behind his back. Rene's going to probably sit on top here and win this round, win this fight.
And that's great strategy coming through from Rene. Not going for anything too untoward. Will be able to find the leverage to get some hammer blows right at the very end. But with that bell sounding, I think that we know it's Kaizen coming out on top once again for a first decision of the night.
Yeah, that's what I would predict. It doesn't appear to be any different, and it looks like Rene's gonna get the nod. I thought the first round started off very shaky for him, especially when I saw him take that big right hand. I was like, wow, Ricky's gonna come out and try to put some more of those on him. But that was really all Ricky had there as far as imposing offense. I think after that, the Jaguar kind of really took the fight over and started imposing his will.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Ricky Lopez clearly showing a lot of potential, demonstrating why he was 1-0 before this fight. But as we do see the decisions begin to come out, I think that for the first time he is going to sit at that 50-50 record, and Rene Jaguar Marroquin is going to continue that pedigree we've been talking about time and time again for Kaizen MMA, with plenty more left on the card.
Yeah, no, I mean, Rene's going to probably move up, and he's a homegrown CageZilla athlete. I'm looking forward to seeing him back inside the CageZilla cage. I think he's got some things to work on, but I think he knows that. I don't have to tell him that. He's going to take this fight. He's going to look at it. He's going to go back to his coaches and his team, and he's going to say, hey, I got to work on this. I got to work on this. I got to work on this. These takedowns were nice, but I also have to have some good offense from the feet. I got to start scoring. So let's get the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge 1 scores the bout 29-28. Judge 2 and Judge 3 both scored the bout 30-27, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the blue corner, it's Rene Marroquin.
And congratulations to Rene Jaguar Marroquin for coming away with the victory as expected here. Ricky Lopez brought his best, and frankly, Brunson's MMA and fitness is a titan to be tangled with in the future. Very excited to see
Like and subscribe to CageZilla.